Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is why you should squat. Well, I'm talking about the weightlifting movement of the squat, where you put the bar on your back and then you squat down with it and then go back up with it and do that a number of times. I think you all kind of in general know about the movement, and it's a very, very important movement for your whole life, because squatting it's the movement you do when you get out of a chair, when you get out of bed, when you get off the toilet, when you get yourself up from the ground. You're going from a low position to a high position. You use your legs, your hips, your knees, your thighs, your calves to get yourself up. So it's why, and it's very critical for a person aging to maintain enough strength in their lower body to get up again. So I think that's first, right? You should be thinking of with the end in mind that you're going to get old, and you might as well age a little more gracefully so you don't have to ask for help to get off the toilet. Right? And you see this with old people, right? They struggle with the simplest things, getting off the toilet, getting out of bed, getting out of a chair. They would never be able to get on the ground and then get up again without help, right? You don't want that for your life. You want to be able to get up by yourself, and the squat movement will help you with this. And you want to probably, as early in life as you possibly can, you'd want to start squatting with the loaded barbell to develop your strength and your power for your whole life. But even if you get started late in life, it's still better than not starting at all. It's a great exercise for an aging person to be able to take care of themselves better as they age. So what else is it good for? Well, it's good for your normal guys, your normal people, normal women and men and women, just for making your whole life a little bit better, because you get stronger, you can pick things up, your legs are stronger, you can walk around easier, you can do for yourself better when you're stronger. It's one of the movements you want to kind of get into your program as a method to feel better about yourself, to do more for yourself. Stop there for a biker. The squat is good for younger people. Let's say you want to get into athletics. It will make your legs enormously strong, so you can be a better athlete. I didn't even start squatting till after football was over in high school. We didn't have any weights in my high school. I didn't know really about weight training even before this. It wasn't a thing. It's become critically important for athletes now to get as strong as you can. It'll make you a better athlete, and it'll make it more fun for you and less likely to get injured. Just for, in general, doing anything, if you have stronger legs from squatting, you're going to enjoy your other things you do in life. Let's say you go downhill skiing. Well, if you want to prep the best for that downhill skiing, you would do plenty of squatting in the months leading up to a big trip, so your legs are good and strong, because skiing is really taxing on your legs and knees. If you're going to hike in the mountains, it's very, very good to do squatting, because as you're going up and down, especially when you go up, it's hard on your wind, but it's also hard on your knees. You want to have strong legs for climbing. And then when you're going back down the mountain, you want your knees to be in great shape, because it's very jarring and hard on you when you're going down. So the squatting will help you. I learned firsthand this the last few trips out west, as I was going down, and I'm a bigger guy, and my legs were very, very strong from squatting, and that really helped me. I had no problems with my knees and hips and legs because my legs were strong from squatting, and that's kind of one of the biggest benefits of the squat, is it makes your normal everyday things and your extra things you do much, much easier. Maybe another big reason to do the squat is it develops your legs and your backside, so you're better at having sex. That's, the backside of you is the part that helps you have sexual intercourse better. So if you wanted to be a better lover, you would want to spend more time squatting. And that's why, women like to look at men's behinds, and they look for the ones that are, more muscular and round, because that's a sign of that the guy might be better in bed, right? So you don't want to disqualify yourself by having a flat behind, do you? You'd want to do the squatting to kind of build that area up. Now, I know there's plenty of objections to the squatting, so let's just kind of talk about a few of those, and maybe a few workarounds to kind of make your life a little bit easier in this area. Well, some people will say that the squat is hard on your knees, that it hurts your knees. Well, yeah, if you do the squat wrong and you overdo it, yeah, it would probably be hard on your knees. But what you'll find is if you start doing the squat right, and the proper method I found later in life is to do more of a low bar squat and use a method called the starting strength method. You can Google starting strength, and the founder of that is Mark Ripatow, and he talks about how to do the squat right, and there's videos and there's books and there's articles on how to do it. But you would just find that method and do that and work on the technique, and if you do it in that way, you won't hurt your knees. You just don't. Basically, the way that it's taught is more of a hip dominant movement, because you're bent over a little bit and you're using your butt more and your backside, and you're sharing the load with your hips, and your knees are also getting stronger, but you're not, all the pressure from the movement is not on your knees like a conventional squat is. And I used to do the conventional squats, and I could never, it was very hard to go really, really deep. Like in a low bar squat, the way the starting strength teaches you, it's very natural to go below parallel. I'm in my 50s and I go below parallel, and prior to the COVID, I was doing reps with more than 300 pounds below parallel in my 50s. There's not that many people that can do this, right? And so now, after the COVID, I'm finally getting back to the gym, and I've got a big squat workout planned today, and I won't be going up to 300 pounds. I'm working my way up from that long layoff, but I'm going to be in the mid 200s for reps, and we'll see how the reps go. But usually I try for 5. As the weight gets way up, I might only do 3, but now it won't be that heavy, so 5, and maybe a couple sets, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. I'll see. So that's, again, that method it's not taxing on your knees unless you do it wrong, and the way you do it wrong is letting your knees do more of the work, and letting your knees kind of go in. You want to have a fairly wide stance with your feet pointed out. And Google, do this. Don't get lazy on this. Figure out how to do this movement. This movement will take you from will build you enormous strength, will make your legs look really good, and you'll feel really good, and you'll age much, much, much gracefully, more gracefully than you are now. But you have to widen out your stance and get your knees going out and make it a hip dominant movement. And that hip dominant movement, it's a very good benefit, because that will build up your backside more, and it will make your backside look better and feel better, and you'll be more powerful and able to walk easier and climb steps easier and all that kind of stuff. Your backside will get a little bigger, and this isn't a bad thing. It will also still give you that that thigh development above your knee, that when you wear shorts kind of looks pretty good. So it will make your legs look good. Maybe not as good as the old style squats or leg extensions or leg presses, but it will give you that overall development, and you'll look very good compared to the normal guy who doesn't squat, right? So that's kind of a workaround, is to make sure you do it deep enough and you use that starting strength style method so you don't hurt your knees, and it's good for your overall leg, lower body, and even your back development. The other thing you want to do with this movement, as let's say a workaround, is it's a nicer program because you only do 5 repetitions maximum. You don't want to go overboard with high repetition squats. The high repetition squats, one, are very, very taxing, and they kind of wreck the rest of your workout and your recovery ability and your enjoyment of life, because it is so taxing. 5 reps is taxing enough. You're going to huff and puff. But if you're trying to do more higher repetitions, 8, 10, 12 and up, you're one, you'll have to lower the weight a little bit, and 2, it's so blasted difficult to do those, you kind of ruin the rest of your workout. So 5 is a good number to do on squats. And as you get stronger and as you get older, you might have to go even a little less than 5, sometimes 3. As the weights go way, way up, it's harder for an older guy to do those high reps, to do the 5 reps. It's very taxing. Another way you can think of it, because of the difficulty in it, is you would spend enough time getting your weight up to an adequate level, and then after you get your weight up to an adequate level, you can back off on the number of times you do the squat. So I don't like to, they might start you off at 3 times a week, and then it'd eventually go to twice a week, and then once a week, and then probably every other week. So that's kind of where I'm at now, is at every other week. Well, that's not so bad, right? If you're only doing it every other week, it's not as taxing. I have energy for my other body parts that I like to work, and I have energy for other parts of my life that are just as important. Oh man, there's all kinds of wooden stuff out on the freeway here. It's a crazy day here. It's the second piece I've seen. If somebody dropped a load of something irritating, dangerous. So the squat, getting back to the squat, if you can squat heavy weights, 5 repetitions below parallel with great form every other week with the high weights, don't you think you're going to be strong? Why wouldn't you? You're going to maintain strength if you can do that. If you can lift, if you can put your own body weight on your back and do reps with it, that's pretty darn good. And if you're a younger guy and you train this hard, you'll end up putting more than your own body weight on your back and squatting down with it. But even if you start out with not much weight, it's still weight, and you're going to be better than 97% of the population who can't do this, right? If you can develop this kind of strength, you don't have to worry about all the other things that other people worry about. Right? You'll be able to do for yourself. If you got something really hard to do, well, you can just do it. You'll be kind of big and strong. You won't be a target to a criminal, right? Because, well, you look like a big burly guy and nobody wants to mess with you. So give that idea some thought. These are really good reasons why you should squat. It's a great exercise. I know it's hard. I've given you some tips on how not to go overboard with it. Oh, one more thing I should mention about it, about the 5 rep range, is that's very, very handy for you, because what the bodybuilding types would tell you to go higher reps. But the problem when you do those higher reps, and if you're dedicated and motivated, is that tends to make your legs really, really big. And what you want are big legs, but not really, really, really big legs. Get what I mean? So a lot of guys will go overboard on the squats with these high rep squats and get really, really big legs, and their legs get bigger in proportion than their upper body. Well, you don't want that either. You want everything to kind of work together, and that's why the fives are nice, because you build enormous strength. You get that beautiful shape above your knee that looks so good in shorts. You get a rounded backside that makes you look good in your pants and holds them out and gives you that look that women like to look and they love to touch. And most importantly, you become strong enough to make your life really much, much easier, much, much better, and it's going to help you age much more gracefully. So give that idea some thought. All for now.